Welcome to the Hamsey Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Thursday, August 9, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at 195. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at 259. There were 18 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and non-new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. Pretty neutral action here on the market overall. For the volatility, there were 360,000 contracts traded on the VIX, with 36 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in August, we saw 2.17 with 30% of the total premiums paid. For September, a 1.6 with 35% of the total premiums paid. October, a 0.44 with 17% of the total premiums paid, and November, a 0.414 with 15% of the total premiums paid. We have the front month, which is bullish, neutral, and then two bearish months for the dollar weighted put call ratio. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We have another close above the trend line. Flat day again today at almost half a handle higher for the day. Pretty flat market overall. Volume is very light here. We're not getting almost any volume here. A lot below average on the day. And here we're still on the positive to sigma channel, which is still positive for the market. And we're watching for volume to come back, maybe to confirm this move higher and even take us to our target of 1431, or maybe a pullback coming to 1372. CI still continues to be red but pointing higher. You can see it here, and CI diff continues on the positive territory. You could see the sigma channel width here on the down yellow line. It's now starting to tick down. This means that the sigma channel width is now starting to go decrease. Volatility is compacting. This is happening due to the amount of movement we're having in the last couple of days. There haven't been any move actually. So that's what's happening here on the daily chart for SPX. On the 60-minute chart, here we have the support, pivot, and resistance. As we talked about it yesterday, we are pretty close to resistance here a lot of the time, but we are not being able to break this to the upside. Maybe come and test this 1405, 1406 level to break this resistance to the upside. Tomorrow we are gonna see what happens, but it's probably gonna be another slow day like we've been having this week so far. Pivot for the weekly is gonna be at 1379. That's gonna be the line in the sand here for this week on the 60-minute chart. But again, pretty flat. You could see here that it's not even moving the 60-minute chart here. You could see here the same 60-minute chart, but with the sigma channels on. Look how compressed the sigma channel width is right now. We're basically almost all those sigma channels in a 10-point range. This is very unusual here on this 60-minute chart. Looks like we're getting close to a move, either up or down. You can see here when bands get so contracted, looks like something's about to happen. We had here this, and now we're having it here. Maybe this is gonna be our next move to a breakout to test that 1420, or maybe come back, get a little bit of a pullback, maybe get some people into the market and then just rally it again. What we're seeing here, we're maybe getting close to a breakout or breakdown on this 60-minute chart. We want to keep an eye on. Maybe it's not gonna come tomorrow because of Friday, but next week we have options expiration. Maybe we're gonna have a big movement for next week. So keep an eye on this 60-minute chart here with the sigma channels very compressed here so far. Now we're going to go to the SPY to get some targets. Here we have, let's start with the daily chart for SPY. And again, we have an update, pretty much flat, but we did came from the low, so that was positive. We continue to be on positive 2 sigma channel. Still looking for 142 on the upside here on SPY. but again, not much volume this last couple of days to confirm this move higher. So we want to see some volume come in and maybe come for that 142 level. On the downside, 137.40 would be zero sigma, which is going to be very important here on the daily chart. We're looking for some shorter term targets. Here we have the 60-minute chart for SPY. You can see how tight the sigma channels are, same as SPX. Now we're going to look at the support, pivot, and resistance for SPY. Okay, again, same as SPX, pretty much always touching resistance and coming back. We're not able to break it here to the upside. But again, if we do break this weekly resistance 1, we're looking for 142.25, but the level we need to break is 140.80. We need to break that level to the upside to continue here for the 142 level we're watching here on this 60-minute chart. Okay, moving on to IWN. Here we have the Russell ETF. We talked about this target yesterday, 171. This trend line you see here, we touched it, we came back somewhat. We're gonna zoom in a little to get it closer, but you could see this perfect trend line, how it acted as resistance here. We were not able to break and close above it, but we came exactly to the tick where we were supposed to go. As we mentioned, we want to break out of this trend line, maybe come in here to a 72 and then get somewhat of a pullback to test that support that we will have as when we break this trend line to the upside. Again, if we are not able to break this trend line, and what it looks like for now that we are not breaking it, we're looking for a coming back, maybe come and test this 68.90 level on IWN. Of course, that bet to the downside would be invalidated as soon as we break and close above this trend line we have here. So far, odds look like we're going to go down, maybe come here to this 200-day moving average, 69 level, in accordance with the 50-day moving average. So 69 on IWN looks like a pretty good target so far on the downside. And of course, here if we break this, maybe coming and testing this 72 quarter, 72.10 level. We're gonna have to see what happens tomorrow, if we're able to break it, or if we're gonna start to pull back here on the market now that we've touched this triangle and came up to the top. Here on the support, pivot, and resistance for IWN 60-minute chart, we're seeing that at 71 we have our resistance number 1 for the week. So now with the trend line we just talked about, so it's gonna be pretty hard to get above here, but if we do, it's gonna be an important and significant breakout. Maybe looking for the 42 quarter we talked about, or 72 quarter, or 72.40 here. You can see at the resistance number 2. We only have tomorrow for these levels to hold, and if not, we're looking for next week's level. But again, we already talked what happens on the downside if we are not able to break that trend line to the upside. Now coming here for gold GLD, again we have pretty flat levels here on the sigma channels. They are pretty compressed if we open them up and look at longer time periods. You can see here how compressed we are right now. We have the 200-day moving average on the upside, again 160, but still we need to break this 158 level to break and get a significant breakout, even go to the 59 level. CI now turning to the upside, CI did positive, but again gold has been very tight from this 57 and a half to 51 level. So if we don't get a breakout below that 58 level, there's not gonna be much of an action here for trading gold so far. Okay, here we have last chart we're looking at today. We have the VIX. It was flat downish today, nothing going on here. We're at 1528, pretty low levels on the VIX. And important to mention yesterday's outside day reversal. We were up on the VIX and finished at the lows, and we were on an outside day. This was pretty significant also for the market. We wanted the VIX to continue on these low levels. Below 17, below 18 would be a pretty good reading here on the VIX so far. But as we have mentioned so many times, VIX moves very fast. The outside day yesterday was pretty significant here for this to continue to be at a pretty low levels. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamsey Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.